Hello there and welcome back. Today we're going to be going over Jurassic Park from 1993. So this is one of my favorite movies of my life. It was a big part of my childhood. One of the reasons why I went to film school, I remember I had this on VHS at my grandparents' and my mom's and my dad's. One at each place, so I never had to take the chance of not having it around somewhere whenever I wanted to watch it. It's so iconic for a reason, and it's such a great story, and it's something that's never going to be able to be recreated or topped ever again. It's one of those things that's like magic in a bottle, and it's just so special to me personally because of all of the times that I would watch it as a child. I mean, there were times whenever it would be over and I would literally rewind it and start it back over again, and I would just do that all day for hours because I only had a certain selection of things to watch and it was always just my favorite. So yeah, that's what I watched. I loved the T-Rex and the Velociraptors and the cars and the story and the colors and the score and everything about it was just amazing. With that being said, let's review Jurassic Park. So this movie is about John Hammond wanting to open up a theme park that is basically a museum slash living dinosaur tour kind of a place, and he's brought them back from the dead, and he wants to be able to show people and educate them and treat it like a, like a Florida Land Universal thing. And obviously that doesn't go very well whenever they're in the beginning loading the Velociraptors, and so the lawyers come in and say, we're not sure if this park is too safe. We need you to get some people to kind of verify it. And that's where our three main characters come in, and that's such an interesting dynamic because Jeff Goldblum, I mean, amazing, and then Dr. Grant and Dr. Sadler as a couple, I just really loved them. I mean, it was the coolest thing ever, and just having a movie like this as a child was so important to me, and like, who didn't love dinosaurs, I mean, they were the best things ever. This is one of those movies that's like a family movie, like everyone knows this or everyone's seen it or everyone loves it because it's just that good, and I don't know why, like it's just fun to watch. I mean, I've definitely had some times in my family where I've been watching it and my grandpa's come in for a couple minutes and then started watching it with me, and then my grandma came in as well, and then like next thing I know, like my aunts and like we're all in there just watching it, and it was just because it was on TV one time and I happened to click on it. It's just a classic and everyone loves it, and it just is a great time. My favorite aspects about this are the score. I really love like the soundtrack that's playing whenever they're dusting off the bones when we're first being introduced to Dr. Grant's character, and it's just so eerie and it's good. And then especially whenever we get to the island, it's so, everyone knows the theme music, and also the visuals. The island is so beautiful. They shot this in Hawaii, and it does have like that island feel. It's so perfect and green and tropical. One of the parts that I love about this most, obviously, is when everything starts going bad. That's when the story picks up. That's whenever we're getting right into the point of it. And the part where the T-Rex breaks out of the cage due to the systems being down and everything, I mean, it's so breathtaking and stunning. And can you imagine seeing this for the first time back in 1993 and just being completely wowed and gawking at the screen like, what am I watching right now, bro? Like, the combination of practical effects and robots and CGI that they invented, mind you, to be able to pull this movie off had such an effect on the film industry and making movies. I mean, it's literally one of the milestones of our history, and you can't say that it isn't. But yeah, there's just something about seeing the kids in danger, and it's raining, and we've never obviously seen something like this before, and having it crash down through the ceiling, and we feel so bad for them, and we don't know what's going on. And then when he draws the T-Rex away, and then there's the whole kind of chase thing. I mean, this movie does a great job at building suspense and keeping it going. Like, whenever you're watching these action scenes, it's like, more often than not, you're like you're heightened, your emotions and your senses are heightened because you're watching something that's really tense on the screen. And when it's chasing them at the end, whenever they find Jeff Goldblum and his leg is injured, I can't for the life of me remember what his character's name is. Dr. Malcolm, that's what it is. Okay, got you. That was killing me. And I really love the aspects of having children there. That was really awesome, and because it makes, me as a child feel connected into the story there. And it adds a sense of danger because of the innocence and just children being in peril and danger like that is really very scary, and not having like the proper equipment and tools or adults and stuff around to be able to deal with the situation at hand. It's a very, like Dr. Malcolm says, like chaos-ridden experience. Like, man, everything that can go wrong in this movie does. But that's why it's so good and entertaining. I remember growing up, my favorite sequence was the Velociraptor kitchen scene, and then the very, very ending where they're all in the dinosaur bones. I mean, it's literally the climax of the film, but I mean, it's like that for a reason. It's so suspenseful, and it's the payoff that you really, really need. And I don't know how or why it just works so well, but I mean, it's literally like these 2-minute scenes just like put back to back to back together, and it's literally like the last like 7 minutes of the film, I think, are my favorite. And it's like this whole experience has happened, and it's just one thing after another, and things keep getting so much worse, and they're literally about to like go at the end. And then when the T-Rex, sees the movement of the Velociraptor and attacks that. I mean, when I watched it last night, for the first time ever, I had this like feeling of sadness. I was tearing up because, when I was younger, I used to be like, ooh, like just watching like the film, it's fun. And then I got a little older and I'm like, oh, this is a little scarier. And then watching it now as an adult, and then I've not seen this since I've been in film school, so it was fun to look at it that way too. But definitely just being older now, watching the two adults like protect the children and guard them in when the Velociraptors are about to attack, I teared up a little bit because I just imagined feeling that fear and that horror of just like being eaten and mauled to death, and hoping and praying that you can do the best to keep the children away from it, or that they would sacrifice themselves. I don't know, just that was something that occurred to me this time that really just hit with me emotionally. One of the best scenes before this is whenever we are trying to get the door locked and trying to get the power back on, and Lex is on the computer trying to make everything happen. That's another one of the things that's really intense about this movie, and it's really awesome about how close do you think that raptor was behind them? Because whenever he's like, the door locks, and then he looks down, he's like, Ellie, the door locks, and it's right there. That used to scare me when I was younger, and it just is such a creepy fact about how stealthy and sneaky that they truly are, and how terrifying it is. I mean, when this all goes down, you forget like how beautiful and gracious it was at the beginning, whenever they were watching the valley and the long necks and the beautiful shimmery lakes, and having the rest of the tour and all of the fine food. It almost seems like a completely different place on Earth than what they're experiencing now. And it truly is terrifying, especially when the Velociraptors have escaped the first time and she's got to go get the power back on, and it appears behind her. I mean, this movie is chock full of like jump scares, but they do it so well, and you really feel for these characters, and you feel their fear, and you know that they're in danger at all times, and they do that very well without wearing it out or making it very cheesy at all. And it's just one of the perfect examples of great filmmaking, and it's why it's so hard to do. I'm sure it's just as much as a surprise to them to see it, all come together so well, because when you're working on set like that, you have ideas and plans and but like until you can see everything edited together and all of the possibilities of like the editing room and the cutting room and putting different things in, how special something can really be and how much of a good story it can tell. I know that I've been like naming scenes all out of order here, but I'm just talking about all of my favorite aspects of this movie. I definitely love the part in the ceiling. Scared the fuck out of me whenever I was younger. I mean, literally, what was more terrifying than a velociraptor? I mean, they were fast and I think they look really, really cool. I mean, personally. But they were like reptilian and they're big and claws and just dangerous and teeth and I mean, they were literally so terrifying, and I can remember, like, being a child and, like, imagining them and, like, putting myself in that place and just, like, being so lost into the story of it. I mean, and one of the reasons why I have such a great time with this movie now is, one, because it's so perfect, and two, because it takes me back to being a child and to feeling like that when I was first watching it. And I think that that's what a really good movie does, is that it transports you to that place of feelings and emotions and disconnect from the other world and some of your other problems in life and just buying the story that's right in front of you and going along with it and riding with these characters for a few hours and learning something from them and having entertainment. And yeah, it's just one of the greatest movies in cinema history, one of my favorite movies personally, and such a great franchise. I definitely am so excited for this newest Jurassic World 3 that's going to be coming out soon. Some of my hopes for it is that they bring back the two children from this first Jurassic Park movie. I know that right now what is in talks is bringing back Dr. Malcolm and Sadler and Grant, which would be really amazing, especially with this, you know, new cast that they've got going on. And I really like the newer ones. So this is little Luna. I just got her today, and I love this little girl. She's like one of my favorite dogs that I babysit. She's so tiny and soft and cuddly, and I can't wait to spend the weekend with her. We're gonna have the best time. Maybe watch the second Jurassic Park, maybe one of the Halloween movies, I don't know. I still got a lot of things planned, and oh, so tiny, so cute. I'm sure Jurassic Park would have been way too terrifying for her. I don't want to think about, like, what would happen if we were in a world where I couldn't protect her from a dinosaur. No, baby girl. Anyway, yeah, this film, it really is just so iconic for so many reasons, and I love all of, like, the red and green Jeeps and cars that they have, and how awesome the score was, and how magical just the story was, and seeing all of the dinosaurs come to life and everything like that was so brilliantly done. So yeah, let me know what age you were whenever you first saw it, or if you were like old enough or young enough to go see it in theaters, or if your parents took you. And I'm looking forward to doing the other sequels, and make sure you check out some of my other videos, and thanks for watching.